What's going on, people? In today's video, what are we doing and what are we talking about? Today is awesome. It's an update video today. I received a few messages from my supporters and my followers over the past couple weeks regarding a Twitter post that I'd made a while back for this piece of 3DS development equipment. It's a development kit, and a lot of you were really interested in this. It's a pretty rare development kit, and it was called the Intelligent System Snake Box. And it's this orange device. Now, I've shown this before. You might have seen little clips of it. This is not the only 3DS development kit that I have, and I've got a few of them. And so I know a lot of you are really excited for me to dive into those. However, I've just been so wrapped up with the N64, and there's been so many different videos for me to, put together and cover different aspects of N64 development. And so I've been pretty excited at tackling those. As you guys know, that's my fave system. But I decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try and dive into a little bit of this 3DS realm of gear. That is going to be happening very soon, and I will be diving into some Nintendo 3DS development kits and covering that. So today I thought I'd show one of them to you. This is one of the kits that I have. I actually have two of them, but they're a little different from each other, and I'll explain those briefly here now. So this is one of the kits here. So it's just a small little box. Now, you guys that are familiar with 3DS gear, you're probably familiar with it. And this is called the Partner CTR Debugger. So I don't know if you guys can see that there. And I've got a little sticker on there to remind me to check batteries. There's some internal AA's in this unit, and that's for maintaining the internal memory of this device. And it also allows power on. So if your batteries are dead, the unit will not power up. So you always have to make sure that those batteries are good. What's really cool about them is that it allowed you to interface a special 3DS handheld unit that had some special cables that would interface to this debugger enclosure. As you can see on the front there, there's a couple of sockets there. They're just referred to as controller 1 and controller 2, and they're both color coded. One is red and one is black. And so these cables, they're a proprietary cable connector, and those would interface to a special 3DS handheld. And then that would allow you to control different aspects of the game that was under test. Again, the primary function of this unit is for debugging. Now, what's really cool is on the opposite side here, there's actually a port here for inserting a special VGA card or a DVI interface card for hooking up external monitors. Now, that functionality was reserved for the capture version of this development kit. So as you can see, the capture model has the special DVI interface ports for connecting external monitors. It also has a video out connector for hooking up to composite monitors. Now, with the debugger model here, you'll notice that the rotary switch is missing. And that is because the capture model allows you to use that rotary control to select which monitor is going to be captured into the software. And so that gives you that control of selecting which video source you're going to be recording from. So it's a pretty cool little unit, and there were different peripherals that you could get for it. Now, you could insert a 3DS flash card in there, as well as a standard SD card, which was pretty cool. The other accessories that it had was an infrared adapter that you could use for different applications that you were testing, and that would insert into this front IDC socket. And as well, there was an extension cable, an IDC ribbon cable that you could use and connect to in case you needed some extended distance for those applications that you were testing. Then as well, there was an external connector for hooking up a game controller, and that was used as part of debugging that you were, depending on the test that you were running. And of course, you have the two connectors for the 3DS debugging handheld. So pretty cool. On the opposite side, we have the antenna connector for different wireless tests that you're working on. There's a USB interface for doing all the debugging with the software that's running on the Windows XP PC. And there's a set of dip switches here for configuring parts of the hardware, whether it be updating or, different tests, configuration of the hardware. Then you have your BT power switch and the DC input port. Now, of course, depending on the model that you have, if you have the capture model, there would be that extra DVI video interface card inserted as part of the unit. So it's pretty cool, and I am planning on doing hardware demos on these in the near future, but it was just something that I wanted to share with you guys today to let you know, give you a heads up that that's coming. So pretty cool, pretty awesome. Okay, so what else is on the agenda today? Oh yes, okay, this is cool. This is a little different. I'm not much of an arcade fan, to be honest. I do like arcade stuff, but I was never one that was really involved. I don't own any arcade machines myself. But this sort of came into my possession at one point. Now, as you guys know, I do a lot of robotics. I have a background in that. I was trained in that in college, and I do tinker with it here and there and have worked in robotics in the past. So, I guess that's that side of me, working with hardware and that sort of got me into this idea of doing something with this arcade hardware here that I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to try and bring it into the shot. It's pretty massive. Okay, let's see if we can get this in the shot. Okay, so as you guys can see, so this is, you can see the controller on the top there, the joystick controller, and let's see if I can set it down here without smashing my microscope here. So we've got the two coin slots here. We've got the joystick controller on the top with a button, and the two coin dispensers on the bottom. And as you guys can see there's the top controller. And then if I turn this around, so you can see all the electronics there for the joystick controller, and as well on this side, right up in here, there's a 7-segment display that's showing on the top. So what this is a controller for one of those claw machines that you guys see at arcades, right? So you have the joystick that would control and move the claw down, and you go down and you pick up a prize and then bring it up. So that's what this is. Now, I had always thought that would be cool, because I guess when you think about it, that is sort of robotics. And a lot of the robotic systems that I've worked with were either, manipulators, robotic arm systems. So it's a little similar. And so I think that's what intrigued me to grab this little unit. So then there's the XY rail unit that came with it. So if you guys can see that, you can get this in the shot. It's this massive rail unit. And then of course you have the cable that runs down with the claw. So, it's pretty hard to demo this, but this thing slides back and forth. And then you would have another rail system here that this whole unit would, run along that rail. So it's pretty wild. And it's something that I am planning on getting up and running at some point. I would think it would be pretty cool to be able to demo that. So there's the claw. As you can see, it's like a solenoid in there, an electromagnet that you engage, and then that will claw down on the little prize possession, your acquired prize. So anyway, that's pretty neat. So I got that not too long ago, and that's something that I'm going to be hopefully getting up and running. The many hundreds of projects that I have on the go. But I got it pretty cheap, and it was something that I thought, hey, that would be pretty awesome. Even though I don't have, any arcade machines in my game room or anything like that, but it would be something neat to show off to friends. So I thought, hey, you know what? I'll give this a shot and see if I can get this going. So pretty cool. Now, one last thing that I wanted to share with you guys. This is, I'm not going to be able to really show it to you on camera here, but I will throw up some shots to show you this unit that I have, that I acquired a long time ago. This was something that I got just by crazy fluke coincidence, and I was amazed that I was able to find this unit. This is something quite unique. I got this from a local computer enthusiast, and this was a very rare supercomputer from the 90s. And this was made by the company Silicon Graphics. It's the same company that built the SGI Indie systems that were used with the partner N64 network system that I did demo in the past. Now again, this is related to N64, so for those of you that are up to speed on N64 dev gear, you know which system I'm talking about. This is the SGI ONYX Supercomputer from 1993. This system cost $250,000 back in 1993, and this supercomputer was used for different applications like processing graphics, and this was the exact model of system that was used by Nintendo and many different studios like Rare Limited. They were using these supercomputers to do different applications relating to game development. Whether it was just, powerhouse number crunching and running through rendering and compiling graphics for developers that were, running different 3D graphics software, and they were doing all this like over a network, batch processing essentially, and rendering different graphics. And so again, the fact that this system cost 250 grand. So this is not a drop in the bucket back in the 90s. This system was used for N64 development early in its life cycle. As an example, companies like Rare Limited used these supercomputers to develop games such as GoldenEye. And early in the N64's life cycle, the actual console had not been built yet. SGI was still in the process of developing the different processor chips that were going to be used as part of the N64 console. And so the workaround for this, in order to allow developers to begin developing games for the console, they were essentially using these SGI ONYX supercomputers to run an OpenGL based emulator, essentially. And in that way they could compile their ROMs that were being developed for the console, and then they would use this graphics supercomputer to run that ROM under test, and it would essentially simulate the hardware. So it was pretty wild, and just by fluke chance I was talking to a collector. It ended up, I couldn't believe the chances that this collector that had this SGI ONYX supercomputer was actually local to me. So it was just like, what are the chances of that? So I ended up talking with him and discussing the, possibility of acquiring this supercomputer from him, and we managed to, work out a deal. Even though once again it cost me the, the price of a small country. But for myself, I thought, hey, this is something pretty unique and cool that relates to the N64 and all the development that was going on with that console, and the fact that it's one of my favorite consoles. I thought, yeah, this is something I'm willing to swing and make the purchase. So it's pretty amazing that I was able to acquire this. And again, this is one more amazing piece of development equipment and a development system that I do want to demo in depth for you guys here on my channel. So that is on the horizon. It is coming, and I'm really excited at getting that ready and being able to demo this system for you guys. Pretty cool, pretty awesome. All right, that concludes the video today, everybody. I want to give a huge shout out to all my supporters. You guys rock. And for those of you that are interested in becoming a supporter, please visit my website. That's behindthecode.ca, and check out my supporters link there. All the support is really appreciated. And again, it allows me to do all this cool stuff and produce more content for everybody. So much fun, so cool. And the fact that you guys are visiting the channel and you're enjoying the content, wow, how rewarding is that? I guess I'm doing something right. Hit the like and subscribe if you can. Always appreciated. And we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, and bye for now. Ciao.